Welcome back, fellow Marvel Legends collectors. Solid Dave Snake here, doing another review in the Spider-Man Marvel Legends Infinite series Build-A-Figure Rhino Wave. And in my previous review, we had taken a look at one of the Savage Force action figures, Marvel's Chameleon, and now we're going to take a look at the other figure in the set, and Chameleon's half-brother, Kraven. And this is an action figure that we really needed a redo of. We had previously got one during the Toy Biz era of Kraven, but Kraven's looks have changed a good bit, and that old figure really wasn't that good. So we now get a Kraven as how he looks now in the comics, and it is a far superior figure than the Toy Biz's Kraven. And he only came with one accessory besides the Rhino Build-A-Figure piece, which is this spear here, and it fits real nice in his hand. He holds it really good. And this spear actually has a lot of detail on it. It's a real hard plastic. It's not that bendy. And of course we get these feathers on here with the beads. And some nice paint variation between that and the silver on the spear tip. And even going down the shaft of the spear, we get a lot of wood grain detail. Even a little bit of dry brushing with those feathers, as you can see how they're darker in some spots. So pretty cool accessory, and like I said, it fits in his hand perfect. And now let's get Kraven up close here and take a look at him from head to toe. Which he has a very unique look to him from a lot of Marvel Legends. Definitely a unique character in the comic book. And this jacket they gave him with the lion's head and the mane on the back really pops out nice. But before we start looking at his body too much, let's take a good look at this head sculpt, which I think they really did a good job on. One of the better head sculpts in this series. He did his goatee and mutton chops really nice. Nice paint detail in the eyes. I don't know why Misty Knight was the only action figure in this series to have wonky eyes, but all the rest turned out real good. Sculpt on his hair is nice. So, great head sculpt. Looks like Kraven from the comics and the old cartoon. And he has this necklace. If I take it, these are supposed to be some kind of animal teeth on it. Maybe lions or tiger, something like that. And if you pop off his head, you could actually take this off. That's a separate piece. And same thing with this lion head jacket. You could really pull this off of him. But why would you want to? It really adds to this character's look. And this is a lot softer of a plastic. But I love all the detail in the hair of the lion here on the back. And it has a little bit of white paint to it. Gives it a pretty overall different look. I don't know how well that'll come out on camera. It's a real light white dry brushing. It's just a lot of little detail all over this figure. Of course, we have the leopard bands around his arm. A lot of wrap around his lower wrist and around his hands. And on his belt, which is a separate piece as well. He's got a lot of added stuff on this figure. He has the front part of the tunic and the back part, which are both tattered a little bit. And all kinds of pouches going around that belt. And a nice gold paint job to that belt buckle. And a lot of great detail on the legs here. Of course, on the knee pads we get these two skulls as kind of knee pads. So that's definitely unique. And a little bit of fur coming off the wraps that go around his leg. holding those skulls on. And even his boots have that kind of wrapped look to them. So a lot of detail on this action figure. A lot more detail than some of the figures in this series. Just a lot of different paint variations and little aesthetic pieces like the necklace and coat and belt and tunic. So definitely overall one of my more favorite looks out of this series. And articulation wise, he's really good. He's got a ball joint and a hinge at the head, which will rotate all the way around. Look, not too far down, but a good ways back. And at the shoulders, he's got a ball joint and a hinge, which won't quite go up to 90 degrees, but rotate all the way around. Got a cut right at the bicep, which will rotate all the way around. Double jointed elbows. And the peg and hinge at the wrist, which will allow full rotation. Him to move that far in and that far out. And he does have an ab crunch, but it may be a little restricted from the jacket. He'll go this far forward, and whenever you want to take him back, he kind of wants to go forward again with that jacket. And he does have a cut at the waist, which will rotate all the way around, but that belt kind of hinders it. And he will kick out this far, this high up, and not too far back. But he does have a cut at the upper thigh, which will allow full rotation. And double jointed knees. And he actually has a cut right here at the upper part of the boot, which will allow full rotation. And then a hinge at the foot, which will go that far back, that far forward, and give us that great ankle pivot. So, all in all, I think this is a great addition to Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery. And if you're a big Spider-Man fan in these Marvel Legends, I would say that this is a must pick up. Gets a high recommendation from me. So, alright everybody, that'll wrap up all these individual reviews for the Spider-Man Marvel Legends. But they all came with a Build-A-Figure piece. So I'm going to slap all those together. And in our next review, we'll be reviewing that Build-A-Figure Rhino. So I'll catch you then.